Welcome back to the Sherlock Vlogs, episode 2, The Blind Baker, aka Who Fucking Cares?
Is
the
it,
end.
Is this the one where it's like the
Chinese fucking...
weird dance, or like there's a show that happens and...
Chinese opera.
Yes.
Watson goes on dates.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, she gets kidnapped in the end by the Chinese people.
Oh, right.
They introduce like this whole... when the bag of sand hits the thing, it'll make a crossbow fire.
And she's like tied up, like in what's it called? In the thing's path.
Crossbow?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
So, really the only thing that's important to me in this episode we already talked about in the last vlog, which is when Sherlock introduces Watson at the beginning of the episode when they go to the crime scene, or to get the job. Sherlock says, this is my friend, John Watson. And John's like, I'm not his friend. So they're laying in the whole friendship thing. So the plot of this episode is... Sherlock has an old acquaintance who runs like a bank or something with the stock market, because there's people there who have to work all hours around the clock so they can trade from London with people in various countries.
China.
And there is a locked door murder mystery because they find a guy, well I guess at this point he's not dead. At this point they find a locked room and it's been vandalized. There's a yellow spray paint mark on the wall. Then later on there is a locked door murder thing. And they're like, how'd they do it? And it's Spider-Man did it. That's Sherlock's big thing. Is like a guy who can climb. In the meantime, Watson has got a new job. He's working as a doctor at a local practice. He's dating the nurse there for a little while until Sherlock's a dick and they break up. I don't know. There's a lot of books. There's a whole thing they find out about a code where it's like, if you could, the spray paint yellow line matches up to an ancient Chinese code, which if you figure it out is numeric, and it's all about like say the code is like 23, 12, 15, blah, blah, blah. It's like page number and word number.
Something like that.
So that way you can flip through a book, and it's like, what is a book everybody would own? So Watson and, yeah, but it's not the Bible.
What is it?
It's Guide to London.
Oh.
It's still for the dog. It's Guide to London. So, but yeah, they're going through like every book that this guy owns, every book that that guy owns. They're finding duplicates and they're trying to figure out if they can figure out the code. A lot of really boring stuff, honestly. The big bads in this episode it's very much like Batman, kind of like they're the Chinese mafia, and they wear like, they have samurai swords, and they go around in a traveling opera. There's a chick who like has a teapot that she keeps putting water on and age it properly.
I remember that like the girl, that Chinese girl, has like this whole monologue of like, you find out that like her brother was killed or something.
Her brother is the killer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's working, like she got out from the Chinese mafia and she came to London. She wants to work at this museum and like a bunch of stuff that really, it's not that interesting. Nor is it all that funny.
And it has nothing to do with Moriarty.
It does at the very end. They reveal that the man behind the Chinese mafia that's been paying them to do whatever they were doing, which I think was smuggling. I think it's the same plot as Rush Hour. I think they were smuggling. They were killing people and smuggling artifacts out of China and back into like centuries old artifacts out of China and back into London, black market trade thing. They reveal at the end that the people, the head badass Chinese woman, is actually working for Moriarty.
Okay.
She's on like a laptop chat. It's very lame. You know, who is, it's like black screen, green letters. Who is this? And it's like, it just says like MM, so you know it's like Moriarty, or I think it's JM for James Moriarty. And they're chatting, and she's like, she types like, I'm sorry, but Sherlock got involved. And then you see a laser like appear on her head, and she gets killed by a sniper. So.
Pete, is that what plays into the next episode?
Probably, yeah.
Can we just get to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're done.
I don't even remember anything from that episode except for the crossbow, which we already talked about.
It's not very good. You know what they do establish? They do establish Sherlock's got a homeless network, which I thought was really stupid in this episode, but later on it sees a greater effect. Sherlock uses a group of homeless people. He pays them under the table, gives them cell phone and stuff, and that's the way he can track information throughout the city, because they're everywhere. And they're, kind of sort of around crime and drugs and things like that.
And that does pop up there.
It does. So Sherlock uses, like, that's the only big thing they introduced. That and the fact that Sherlock and Watson aren't exactly friends.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's sort of funny to, like, see Watson go on, like, the amusing dating adventures of John Watson. And how it's tough to, like, have a crappy roommate and also date girls. I guess. I don't even think Lestrade is in this one. I don't think Miss Hudson's really in this one. I don't think Molly's in this one. It's really, it doesn't do much for me. The next one, however, is where shit really takes off.
It's really just reinforcing Sherlock's like deductive reasoning.
A little bit,
You're
yeah.
just seeing like how he solves crimes, I guess, honestly.
I think we talked about this on the Gilmore Girl vlogs. There's a rule in television, particularly sitcoms, or like 1-hour drama type things, formulaic type 1-hour dramas like Law and Order or House, series that have long seasons. They say that the first 6 episodes are all the pilot. The idea being that like somebody might not have watched it yet, so you have to just keep reestablishing your world over and over and over again.
So the second episode could just be that.
Kinda,
You don't
yeah.
want to get into any Moriarty stuff in case you missed the first one.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I think maybe the writers are just kind of like trying to figure shit out still. Or maybe, like I said, it is, every season's 3 episodes. Maybe they're just trying to build to Moriarty, and they just didn't have anything good for episode 2.
Maybe.
But episode 3 is The Great Game, and it's very, very good. So I think we're going to wrap this up. Is there anything else you got to say about The Blind Banker? I know that you almost quit the show, and I had to be like, I know, just fucking watch the next one.
I know, it was one of those episodes where I watch where I'm like, what's happening on my phone? What's happening in that room? Like anything to like, I just couldn't get into it.
I will say that you watched Blind Baker on your own. Not Blind Baker, you watched The Great Game, episode 3 on your own first.
Yeah.
And you remember we were talking about it. And I was like, oh my god, what'd you think? And you were like, I don't know what happened. And I was like, really? But like with the 5 pips and the shoes? You're like, I remember there were shoes. And I was like, okay, you want to watch it again and I'll explain it? You're like, yes, please.
Who knows what I remember now?
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, this is also like you had just gotten back to school. So you were like, I'm going to go work all week and then go home and watch Sherlock. And I'm sure your brain was just like,
I can't handle anymore.
what? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Probably.
now we're literally just talking about the Great Game now because it's better. That's the end. I'm still drinking my same drink. I'm going to drink
Basically,
more.
if you're watching this and you don't watch Sherlock, like, I feel like you can watch the first episode and skip the second.
You absolutely could.
Don't ruin it for yourself. Like, keep going.
Yeah, or if you're like me and you have to be completionist, like don't let the second episode throw you off. Like Walking Dead. If you thought the second season of Walking Dead was fucking terrible, where they're on a farm and it's fucking boring, just get through it and then it gets better in season 3. So we'll see you next time with episode 3, The Great Game. The game is on.
Game's on.
Cheers.
See ya.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.